the morning. We do this every single post-holiday. We always ask the question on the post a big 3-day weekend. It doesn't make a difference what the holiday is. We always ask the question, why were the police called? And it's always something that we always end up getting great calls on. And I think one of the last really great ones was whatever the last 3-day weekend was. And it was a 3-day holiday. We asked, why were the police called? And we had unbelievable calls. I don't know if we'll get great calls this time. I'm just throwing it out there. But I want to ask the question. It was a holiday weekend. Why were the police called? Why did the police have to show up? Because it feels like the police have to work overtime on holiday weekends. It's usually something that ends up happening, and it doesn't make a difference. It could be Memorial Day. It could be the, 4th of July, Labor Day. 844-MOJO-LIVE, 844-665-6548 is our telephone number. Can I give you some examples of past?
Yeah, please.
Why were the police called? And I want to know from this past weekend why the police were called. Why did you guys have to call the police? 844-MOJO-LIVE. And if you're a first-time, long-time, tell us if you're a first-time, long-time. One of the last ones was we had to call the police to our cottage because we were up at the lake and our neighbor guy was peeing all over our flowers. That was one of them. Another one, why the police were called, had to call the police on my neighbor who came to our backyard barbecue but wasn't invited and ate all the food off of the grill. That was a great one. That one was I think a couple years back that somebody did that. Why were the police called? The police were called because too much Labatt's Blue. That was my favorite. Which, by the way, you know what I saw for the first time this weekend, too? And it wasn't like it was a spectacular weather weekend. I saw the lake police out.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I saw the lake police out there doing their patrols and stuff.
What do they do? What are they policing?
They get on there and they look at... Have you ever been on Cass Lake before? Which is in the Metro Detroit area?
I don't know the names of these
You
lakes.
want to go on a lake and see nothing but a bunch of crazy people? Go to Cass Lake and watch the police having to pull up by the sandbar and see all the people that are out there.
Are people just getting crazy, or
people have fun? Let's put it that way.
And I give props to the people who did not care that it really didn't even hit 71 degrees yesterday. The pools, a lot of the public pools opened and stuff, and people were swimming.
Yeah.
They were in their bathing suits. They did not care. It was Memorial Day, and they were still going to do their thing that they normally do.
But you have to understand something. We're talking about we live in a state where people wear shorts when it's 40 degrees outside.
No, I know.
I
know.
People.
I mean, Lucy and Smith went to the pool yesterday.
Oh, my God.
I was like...
This summer going to be wild.
You think so?
I promise you.
Why?
It's taking so long for the weather to break that when it finally does,
I
people
agree
lose
with you.
their mind.
Yep.
All right. Why were the police called? We want to know. 844-MOJO-LIVE, 844-665-6548. Brandon, why were the police called?
So we were chilling on the back patio and just blasting music, singing some songs, having a great time. And all of a sudden, a cop singing over the pool fence, and he goes, "You got a noise complaint." We're all in our 30s and 40s, and as far as I'm concerned, that's mission accomplished.
Wait, what time of day or night was this that you guys got a noise complaint?
It wasn't too bad. It was 11 o'clock or so, but apparently there was an older couple next door that was trying to sleep, and they weren't having it.
Are they new to the neighborhood? Because that to me seems like something you don't do in a neighborhood that you got to live in.
Yeah, no, actually, the guy who owns the house is pretty pissed because he's helps out this older couple a lot, and he's like, "I'll tell you what, guy, next time you ask me for help, I ain't coming."
Yeah. Right. Hey, guy.
Hey,
guy, we aren't coming out there. I can't believe that, a party of a bunch of 30 and 40-year-olds is getting a noise complaint. That seems like something crazy. That's one of those things where you go, hey, is there any way you can kind of keep it down? Why do you got to call the cops? Mm-hmm. And if I'm the cops, I'm not going out on a weekend to go tell somebody to turn the noise down. We had a noise complaint one time. We had a party inside of our house. That was the craziest part. Inside of the house, the party was going on. And we had a cop come up to the door and complained that people said that we were too loud. And I walk outside and I shut the door. I'm like, you can't hear a thing.
That cop just wanted to come to the party.
No,
the neighbors did. No, they weren't invited.
That was what I think it was. I think there was a lot of cars.
Hey,
I think there was a ton of cars on the street, and I think people were like that. They got a little nutty. A couple of texters here. Mojo, we were up north this weekend on Houghton Lake. I love my Houghton Lake people. And we ended up having to call the sheriffs because we couldn't get down our driveway. There were so many people at our neighbor's party. That's one of those ones where you're just trying to get home. 844 Mojo Live, 844-665-6548. The text 95500. Also another noise complaint one here that came through. Oh, this is great. I don't ever let the cops come to my door and talk to them. I just look at them through the ring cam, is one of the people here. What's up, Rick? Hi. What's going on?
Hi.
What's up, buddy? We're talking
Can you
about...
hear me?
Yeah, we're talking about why were the police called?
I flipped off my neighbor's video doorbell.
Wait,
and they called the police on you for that?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I swear to God, it was the funniest thing.
why did you flip them off? You don't like them?
Well, he was just being rude to the kids that were playing catch with the baseball out in front.
Yeah.
It's a condo, and he said they couldn't do that. I said, yeah, they can. I mean, and I just flipped it off. Why
Was
not?
there a threat that went along with that middle finger? I feel like there's got to be something more for them to call the cops.
Nothing else. No, nothing else.
What did the cops
Nothing
do
else.
when they came to you?
They didn't do nothing. They said you didn't do nothing. We just want to make sure it wasn't going to escalate into anything different. And I said it wasn't. And I told the cops, and they left.
Can I tell you something? You remind me of something. In my neighborhood, we used to have old man Krasnowski, which was across the street from us. He would get pissed at us for playing catch with baseballs or footballs. And if the ball was overthrown and going into his yard, and he would scream at us for going to get our ball. And it wasn't like this guy had a great yard. I remember my dad one time getting all upset with him because his yard looked like crap. My dad was out there.
Well, this is a condominium. This was condominium, too.
Sure.
I mean, that's uncalled for. Let the kids play.
Yeah. What's going on? Wasn't that guy a kid at one time in his life or no?
I don't know. I don't know.
Probably not.
He was very ornery. He was not happy with himself.
Yeah. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Not as many calls this time as we did last time.
It was a very tame Memorial
cops were called?
weekend.
it's
Where
got
were
to
the
be
cops
hot. It's
at?
got to be hotter outside.
Is that what it is?
Probably.
Everybody was inside.
The heat brings the wildness out of people.
Oh, here we go. Hold on a second. We got a couple more that have just recently come into. I'm looking at the phone lines going, man, the phone lines are light on this one this year. Usually we always get good ones. Hold on. Elise?
Yeah, so my 3-year-old drove his electric car in our neighbor's her yard. Next thing I know, the police are at my door knocking and said she called to complain that he was
giving lawn jobs with that little, like
With
one of
his
those little
power
power
wheels.
wheels. That's crazy.
I know, right? I know. She doesn't even have a Martha Stewart lawn. I would feel bad if he was killing tulips or something, but it was so ridiculous. And he just said, "Oh, just make sure he stays in her own yard."
What town do you live in that they're wasting resources of the police on something like this?
No kidding. Little small town, one light, Almont. But we're
I've been in
riding
Almont.
strong. Still let them ride
Such a
in her
cute
yard.
town.
Almont seems like a town made up of people that, own,
Love each other.
like 4-wheel drivers and stuff like that. Like, what are you getting upset over a kid
know.
with that? Unreal.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. Love you guys.
Love you too. We love you too. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We love you too.
Hold on, another one here from Leah. Leah, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Leah, why were the cops called?
Because we're just shooting our guns, hanging out. You know, we got targets the whole legal way. We live in the sticks. We got 10 acres. We're minding our own business, but
Okay.
they
Wait.
I thought she was going to be like, I live in Allen Park.
Wait a second.
And I'm like, that's an
Wait,
issue.
no. Still though, I don't know if I want it because you don't understand those bullets got to go somewhere.
Yeah, in the ground, behind the target.
Come on. So
we
who?
shoot from the deck. We shoot from up top. Shoot
Yeah.
downwards. Usually they go
What-
right in the ground. No big deal.
Where's the sticks? Pontiac? Where are you at?
Holly.
Huh?
No, we're in Holly.
Holly's still not sticky.
I wouldn't, yeah.
It's still not
I wouldn't
sticky.
say
It's Rose
that.
Township.
Huh?
It's Rose Township. So it's it's the boonies. It's the sticks.
Okay.
Zod Ford is
I was
in
about to
Holly.
say, I'm going to ask Steve Gabbard.
Yeah.
He hearing shots.
That's crazy. You guys are out there
But they
shooting
said
your
that there
guns.
were people riding up and down the road. That's what the complaint from the cop was. And their car
somebody's worried he's
shooting
going to
from
get
the
hit. Oh, wow. That's crazy.
No, we're responsible-ish.
We're ish.
There was a target. That's all you need. That's all he wanted. He's like, as long as you're shooting at a target, then you're good. Not just shooting it in the air like a bunch of freaks.
Okay. All
Bunch of
right.
freaks.
Here comes the county Mounties out there. Get you.
It was state. We don't get county. It was state.
Okay. All right, Leah. Well, thank you.
Make sure those guns are registered.
Hold on. That's Trump country, by the way, out there. What's going on, Jacob?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's going on?
So we were throwing snaps, the adult snaps, at my son and I, and the neighbor had called the police on us, thought we were throwing firecrackers at each other, and the police had come, and we had to show them we were just throwing snaps, and they were like, we got called out for this?
I've never heard of adult snaps. I know the kid. I hate the kid.
No, those were kid snaps, weren't they?
No, he said adults.
Yes, they're like the adult snaps. They're like, they look like firecrackers and sound like firecrackers.
Yeah, you throw them on the ground and they go, pff, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like you could buy those at Kroger, but I think the ones he's talking about are a little different.
Wait, they
Or
have,
Pro Fireworks, you can get them at Pro.
Yeah.
so they're actually bigger than the ones that you can buy at the Kroger.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, those are actually fireworks.
Yes. That's, yeah.
What's up, Brad? How you doing, Brad?
Not too bad, sir. Over the weekend, I was at a car meet in Grand Rapids, and the car scene has got out of hand over here with these midnight takeovers and stuff.
Yeah.
And these two kids come and told me they were going to jack my Corvette and pulled a knife on me.
Oh,
so I ended up
this is
holding
real
them
crime.
at gunpoint.
Wait, hold on. Stop right there. This is Grand Rapids? This is going on in Grand Rapids?
Yeah, it's Grand Rapids.
Hold on. Now we got some real crime.
They pulled a knife on you. You pulled out your gun.
Yes.
What happened next?
I held them at gunpoint and dialed 911 and told them they better get here before these kids ended up in a casket. And that's all I said. And they were immediately there.
Wow. That's unreal.
Our car scene in Grand Rapids has got out of hand with these midnight takeovers. These kids are all carrying guns at 13, 14 years old and knives, and they think they can just intimidate anybody.
That's amazing. So when you're talking about the car, you guys are just showing off your cool cars and driving them, and then the kids are trying to carjack you or something, huh?
Yes, yep. It happens quite often over in Grand Rapids.
By the way, I'm telling you, everybody's got guns these days. I that's why I'm not yelling at anybody that honks at me in a car next to me.
Call an ambulance.
No,
but this is one though. This is one though. Honestly, I will say this to you. I give you props, man. It's your property, right? These guys want to steal your property. I bet you that kid holding the knife probably crapped himself when he saw you pull out a gun.
Yeah, they did pretty much.
Yeah.
They tried to tell me they were joking, and I said, I don't take that as a joke.
What did the cops say when they came out there? Were they upset with you for pulling your gun out, or did they tell you that you had the right to do it?
Not at all. Not at all, because of the past events that's happened in Grand Rapids with people being shot at these car meets and
God,
stuff.
I had no idea.
Wow.
Did the kids ran, right? They didn't wait for the cops to get there.
No, they did not.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Shout out to everybody listening to us on 104.5 SNX.
The station that ratings are shooting up.
Wow. That's crazy. These car clubs and stuff. Man. All right. Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
You betcha, Mojo. Thanks.
Crazy weekend.
Tell me about how we cheated on you 5 times already and is doing it again. Another world famous War of the Roses happens at 9:40 on Mojo in the Morning.